Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Well, lots of breaking news, you guys. And John, it was a socialist surge last night in New York, and the Democratic Party is going, boy, it looks like a Democratic civil war in many ways, John.
Well, I hope there's a civil war because we need the Democratic Party to come back to, I guess, being only half crazy instead of fully crazy.
That's a great analogy.
In the studio with us today, we have Governor Pataki, and today is his birthday. Happy birthday, Governor.
Thank you, John. Great to be here again.
Well, and
where's the birthday
music?
music?
We got a little music for you here.
Happy birthday to you.
We love you, Gov.
Happy birthday
To our favorite Gov.
Just so long as Marilyn Monroe doesn't jump out of a cake.
Happy birthday. Any words of wisdom, Governor Pataki, on this big day for you?
For all the troubles and difficulties, we're lucky to be Americans, and that's my words of wisdom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amen.
Amen. The greatest country.
We have the former governor's general counsel.
We love him, John Cahill.
John Cahill.
Yes, John.
And Archbishop Dolan's counsel, too. And John, you're always welcome here. You know that.
Yeah, John, we're so happy you're joining us.
Did you ever solve the nuns problem from Kentucky?
We're working on it still.
Working on it still. You know, we bought a building from the nuns in Kentucky, and they never got their money.
How could a nun be ripped off?
Judge Richard Weinberg.
I'll have none of it.
And former Deputy Mayor Rudy Washington. Guys, there was a big problem this morning. There was a bunch of FBI raids, and you guys know anything about it? I mean, the FBI raided the former chief of staff to Mayor Adams.
Frank
Carone. And, the guys always seem to be a nice guy, but...
yes, absolutely. And his brother and other people, too. It's a big suite.
Some hotel owners or something. And
yeah, I don't know the specifics, John, but I do know that the Trump administration is going after fraud, and our government has had billions and billions stolen from it over the last 5 years, and it's a disgrace. And whatever they can do to bring to justice those thieves and straighten it out where we're actually spending money on the programs as opposed to on thieves stealing it, I'm all for it.
And we have Senator Norm Coleman coming on later on because a lot of that fraud is Minnesota. And that's where he was the senator from. And look what happened to Norm Coleman. 9 months after he's elected, they find out he's 300 votes short. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. And they're giving Waltz, by the way, the current one, sort of, it looks like a free pass so far. Ilhan Omar, though, is under investigation because somehow, Governor, at first her finances were like 30, 40 million. Now it's like 100,000 or 10,000. I mean, come on.
I don't know where the 30 million came from, and then I don't know where it went, but none of it is good news.
None of it is good news. And Rudy Washington, what do you make of what happened last night in New York, too, with the elections? Because I was live, and all of a sudden, this was a wild moment. You saw Adriano Espaillat do a concession speech. It was before it was even called. But he obviously saw the writing on the wall, sadly.
There's only 2,300 votes, by the way.
Yeah.
2,300 votes.
Yeah, 2,300. That's another thing.
That's sad. That's sad. When you consider a congressional district is probably a 500,000 people, and you only get, how many votes, Judge, you said?
The difference between
is
the winner
2,300.
and SBI was 2,300 votes.
Yeah, that's really sad. And when you think about, we now have 4 of, what's our total number of Congress people in the 5 boroughs? We're about 8 or so, Governor, if you remember.
Something like that.
But anyway, we're talking to probably almost half of our congressional delegation is socialists.
Yeah, hardcore socialists.
Hardcore
and by the
socialists.
way, let's also explain, Rudy, because this is important. It's not just that they're socialists. They are abolish ICE. One of them even talked about abolishing prisons, said nobody should be deported.
Don't forget about the Pentagon.
One wants to abolish the Pentagon, of all things. No military aid to Israel, and also no deportations. One of them said even those with criminal records, murderers, they shouldn't be deported. This is a whole new breed. Did you ever imagine you'd see this, Governor? I mean, at this moment?
No, it's just hard to believe, but it's understandable, not from the standpoint of what they believe in, but the Democratic Party is just so angry that they want the activist voters want to kick out anybody who has anything to do with the establishment. And it's going to be a very real problem, not just for the Democrats, but for New York and for America as we try to wend our way through this. But, somehow we'll get through it. But like Adriano Espaillat, he was in the legislature in Albany when I was governor. Very good guy. He was a liberal Democrat. I'm a conservative Republican. We got along great. We could talk. We could work together. I don't think that's going to be the case going forward with these far-left anti-Semitic neo-Marxists. So it's going to be a tough time, but it's still America. We'll get through.
Extremism in any direction is not good, Governor.
That's exactly right.
It's not dangerous,
I've always followed that.
Yeah, it's really, and that's the problem. It's so far, like you brought up the Adriano Espaillat. I also think about Dan Goldman, and we're going to talk with Jake coming up, Jake Novak, about that coffee shop thing. But Dan Goldman, let's not forget, he was one of the impeachment managers against President Trump.
Oh, yeah.
But he wasn't far enough left.
No.
For them.
His crime is he's a quasi supporter of Israel.
Right,
As
exactly.
opposed to Lander, who is a full blown anti-Zionist, anti-Israel.
Well, the other thing, back home here in Manhattan, Carolyn Maloney, they used Jerry Nadler to get rid of Carolyn Maloney. And then because Jerry Nadler is Jewish, in my opinion, they got rid of him.
Well, I really begin to think we have a cultural problem in this country now. When we look at what's happening to our culture in terms of moving away from our faith and the foundation of America, it's scary. It's very scary.
Yeah, it is scary.
Yeah. Now, who's the leader of the state, Governor? It once was supposed to be the governor, but now it looks like Mayor Mondami is the leader of the state.
Rudy, I fear that you are right. That he's the one that the press follows. He's the one who all the energy in the Democratic Party is behind, and I think Albany is very much afraid of him. And he wants something done in Albany. Since it's a one-party system, I fear they're just going to rubber stamp anything he wants done.
Forget, look, he has his agenda, whatever it may be. I've been talking to him in hopes that common sense could prevail, but who knows? Well, the time will tell. But at least keeping open communications to me is always good.
Absolutely, and I think that's the most important thing is what found. Dealing with
speaking at the police athletic league tomorrow.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good.
So
Which is a noble mission, a great mission.
Yeah, look,
Yeah.
It's helping the kids. It's not about politics. It's
Exactly
helping the
right.
kids.
Right, absolutely. The one thing that's interesting is like to watch the Democrats today, and we're going to talk to Melissa DeRosa in a moment, but to watch the dance, because some of them are definitely perplexed.
Governor, what do you think?
John, this is an incredible shock. I agree with Melissa DeRosa, and this I never thought
wait.
I never
Breaking
thought I'd be
news.
saying that.
Give me my nitroglycerin time.
Breaking news. Hang on, here it is.
Breaking news, WABC.
All right, Governor Pataki, go again.
I actually agree with her that it was a disaster last night. And it wasn't just a disaster for the Democratic Party, it's a disaster for the state. And you heard what she said. They're going to push for higher taxes in Albany, for more crime because they're going to weaken the criminal justice system. And I fear that they're going to get their way because the Democrats, other than the DSA people, they're afraid of them. And because they're afraid of them, they're going to give them what they want. And this state and this city are teetering. I don't know if you saw today, but Morgan Stanley is considering building a massive $1.5 billion new office in North Dallas. And this is what's going to be happening over and over and over unless we get the state back. And I just want to add one more thing. Normally, we have checks and balances. One party goes too far and screws up, the other party wins. It doesn't happen here because we have a one-party system. The Democrats are nominating hideous candidates who are going to hurt the city and hurt the state. But the Republican Party is so weak and has such decrepit leadership, to be perfectly honest, that we don't mount a credible alternative that can point out the fact that these people are unacceptable, not just to Republicans, but to Democrats too. So I fear that they're going to have a great November. It's going to be very unfortunate for the city, for the state, and for the country. But, these things have a way of ultimately the pendulum comes back. I fear we're going to have a few tough years, but we'll get through it.
Wow. That's a powerful statement, Governor. Wow.
Very powerful statement.
Yeah.
Well, Governor, should we take a break now?
Yeah, or let's get Rudy real quick. Rudy, go ahead.
Rudy
Yeah.
Washington?
Well, I've been a champion for the governor. I've been with the governor when he was a senator. But on this statement, I can't be that optimistic. With what's happening in the country in terms of AI, in terms of the internet, nobody has to be in New York anymore. If you remember, pre-9/11, it was the dawn of the internet. And everybody had to be on Wall Street and pay $40 a square foot. Now, they don't have to do that. You can do business anywhere in the country now. And as the governor just said about Dallas, we're looking at our corporates move across this country into the South where their taxes are reasonable and low and with a good employment base.
And public safety. I mean, that's the other. That to me is the really you're driving them away economically. And to the governor's point, you're also, if you are saying we don't need to deport even murderers, and literally some are saying that why stay if you don't feel safe?
Right, we're in trouble with this no bail foolishness they have going.
Absolutely,
and it's going to only get worse.
Yeah, that's a drop in the bucket compared to what they're saying. And they've also said, this is what troubles me, guys. And what troubles me is they've made it clear. I was watching all the victory speeches last night. Victory for them, not for New York, but victory last night. And in their speeches, they were very much a my way or the highway attitude. It was, here's what we believe in, and we are not going to bend on our beliefs. They're not backing away from their beliefs. Judge Weinberg.
Fundamentally, what you're looking at is you're looking at ideological warfare. They have an agenda. Read the platform of DSA. They're anti-capitalist. They're pro-communist. They're anti-American strength. They want to remake the world. They're going after our constitutional processes. They want to get rid of the Electoral College. Why do they want to get rid of Electoral College? So then you can have the blue cities that dominate the states with the population winning the presidential elections. If they win and they're able to get through changes in terms of Puerto Rico, the District of Columbia, having senators, if that gets through, then you're going to have additional 2 to 4 additional United States senators that will be Democrats, so you'll never have Republicans control the Senate again.
Well, the other thing in the DSA platform that people don't know is they call for abolishing the Senate.
That's
right. Part of their platform.
That's exactly right.
And the whole reason we have a country is because of the compromise that the small states were protected by having a Senate. They want to get rid of that.
Checks and balances.
Yeah, checks and balances.
Right,
they
don't want it. Right, they don't want
their
the checks and
platform calls
balances.
for getting rid of the Senate.
Listen, they should literally be burning the Federalist Papers.
Yeah, go ahead, Rudy.
I was just going to say, guys, don't forget the Supreme Court, what they want to do there.
That's true.
Yeah, that's right. The court packing, and they've come right out and said we want X.
Yeah.
We want X more.
13. They've already announced they want 13 to start.
You know what's interesting? I was watching, and I said this to you guys earlier, John, when we were talking. Speaker Johnson today was on fire, and he came out and he said, we have to save the Republic. We have to win in November. We have to keep the House, because he really fears what will happen to the country if they indeed are in charge. Because to the governor's point, and Rudy and Judge and John, all of you, their voices, these DSA voices are so loud that they are controlling the party. And do you want that to control America?
You got 2 years of impeachment if that happens.
Oh, yeah.
Not just on the president, on the secretaries.
And if they win the White House, the borders get open again. They win the White House, the borders are open again.
Yeah,
well, that's part of their platform.
Yes, one of them. You're right. One of them, loud and clear last night, was saying no borders. No borders? No borders, no prison, no Pentagon, no Senate.
No country.
How about some good news? Rita, how about some good news?
Yeah, what is it? What's the good news?
It's your
birthday. It's your birthday.
It is a beautiful day. The sun has been shining. The air is clean.
And it's your birthday.
And it's my birthday. So there's, the doom and gloom is justified, but always beyond the clouds, there's the sun. And let's try to figure out how
here's what I want you to do. I want you to make sure you get the Republican Party to step up, because they listen to you. Well, they got to step up. And just like you said, they need better candidates, stronger candidates, some great ones out there. But they need to galvanize the crowd and turn this around.
In November, one of the things Melissa DeRosa said was how low the turnout was. And if we had a credible Republican alternative running against these ideological nuts, and that's what they are, we would win. But we just don't have that. And it's a tragedy. for the city and for the country.
Is, Governor, on some of these races, there's 800,000 people, 775,000 people for each congressional district. Yeah. Only like 30, 40,000 people voted.
That's right.
That's 5%.
That's right. And we need to present credible alternatives in the fall to win. But if history is any guide, I don't see that happening. And that's the decline of the two-party system in New York is one of the reasons we are struggling so much. And that's not just in the city. That's in Albany, too. We've had one-party rule for a decade, and it's a disaster.
Governor, it's New York State. It's Illinois.
California.
California.
Yeah, California, right.
I mean,
and none of those states are doing well.
Part of the problem is that there's a lot of cheating, in my opinion, in voting, and we haven't been able to fix that problem. And that's why President Trump today put down his foot, and he doesn't want to sign the agreement on the
housing
bill.
Right.
Until they pass the vote agreement.
Yeah, the SAVE Act, right.
But I think Trump is smarter than everybody thinks. Because I think that if we don't straighten out the voting, that we do have a problem.
Yeah, that is an issue. And you can tell, John, he really took, there are reports out there that he took many in the Senate, even on the GOP side, to task, saying, get this done. But they're saying they don't have the votes.
The problem is you need 60 votes in the Senate. And not one Democrat, except maybe Fetterman, is going to vote for voter ID. And probably 80% of Americans across the political spectrum want voter ID. Mondamini, when he was hiring people to shovel snow, you had to have 2 photo IDs.
That's right.
You can vote with nothing, but you had to have 2 photo IDs to shovel snow for Mondamini's New York City. But they won't vote for a voter ID, and it's just really sad for the country.
Okay, let's go to Governor Pataki and John Cahill, his former
Chief of Staff,
and tell us about 9/11 and tell us what the heck is going on.
Well, thank you, John and Rita, for being here. Interesting listening to such great minds talk about politics. I won't delve into that, but what I will mention, the governor and I were down at the memorial site today. And for people who don't appreciate Western values, they need to spend some time at the memorial at Ground Zero to see the Western values that were attacked that day on September 11th, the destruction, the loss of life, but also see the greatness of the Western values that gave us the greatest plaza in the world. And that's really because of the man, the birthday boy over here, and that's Governor Pataki's vision and leadership. To be down there and to see what is there now. The governor took time to chat with these young girls that are in from, I think, Illinois, that are performing at Carnegie Hall. And these are 12 or 13-year-old young ladies that learning about September 11th for the first time and learning about the Western values that have made this country great, that people attacked, and that the Western values that gave us the leadership of somebody like Governor Pataki built the greatest plaza in America. There's a lot to be learned by these people who are running for political office by spending some time at Ground Zero.
So, Governor and John, tell us the plans of what we're going to do to celebrate 250 years of the United States and 25 years since Governor Pataki, you're the honoree for bringing our city and our state back.
Well, thank you, John. And let me just follow up on what John said, because I think he's absolutely right. You go down to Ground Zero and you see what Western values have done. We've taken rubble, we've taken a disaster and turned it into something of remembrance. Surrounded by commerce, you have some of the great corporations of the world and headquarters right around Ground Zero. And by the way, John, we went and stopped into St. Nicholas Greek Orthodox Church. What a wonderful facility, and I know you were instrumental in getting that built. And we show Western values, the fact that we're not going to be intimidated by terrorists who attacked us. We're going to think big, build big, and have confidence in our future. And, it was the absence of Western values that drove those terrorists that killed almost 3,000 people. And if that's the type of person who's got elected to Congress, we have to rethink this country's future and do everything we can to stop them. We just saw the horror of people who hate our belief in free markets, freedom of assembly. We have to beat them.
Now, this person that got elected against Esplanade, an American citizen?
She
Yes.
must be.
Yes.
To run for Congress, you have to be.
Was she naturalized or was she?
She is. I believe she is an American. Her family is from Dominican Republic, but she is an American.
Okay, we should look into that.
Yes.
Well, it's the end of another great show, and I want to thank Governor Pataki, John Cahill, thank you, and Judge Weinberg, Rudy Washington, Rita. What do we all stand for?
Truth, justice, and the American way.
Go get him.
And happy birthday again to Governor
Happy birthday to
Pataki.
Governor Pataki.